Yes, madam, what is your job? What is your job as a tester?
Defect the bugs.
Any application given to us for testing, we need to validate the functional requirements, non-functional requirements, user point of view. Online team, please. Provide mute everybody. Any product given to us for testing, we need to check, validate the functional requirements and non-functional requirements, not in a technical direction, in an end user point of view. For that, we need to have the clarity about what end user expecting from this product. What customers are wanting, expecting from our product, first we need to understand. Generally in real-time process, every project comes with a set of requirement specifications like SRS and FRS. Such documents will be given to us. In our second module, STLC, Practical Approach to Testing, I'll introduce you all these documents. We study the requirement document to gain the knowledge about the product. In addition to this, your lead will organize some KTs. Your lead will explain the product requirements to the team members. By studying the available requirement document, by attending the KTs, we gain the knowledge about the product. Then, we need to list out totally what needs to be tested in our product. What are the features to be tested need to be properly documented. Technically called, this document is called preparing test scenarios. What to be tested. We have to check these 40 functionalities in the project, need to be documented first. The team member prepare a scenario, submit to the team lead. If I am the lead, I will have a check. All features are documented or anything was missed. Once the scenarios are reviewed, verified, approved, the next task item creating test cases. Scenario meaning what to be tested. When you talk about a calculator application, scenario 1, addition to be tested. Now we need to plan how to verify this addition functionality. As a tester, we need to plan how to test this addition functionality both in positive and negative direction. Whatever the ideas or plans you made to validate a feature, if properly updated, documented, it is called test case document. So scenario 1, we have to check addition functionality in the calculator. I'll plan in this way. First, check addition functionality by giving two positive integers. My first plan of testing the scenario 1 addition, let us verify addition functionality by giving two positive integers, 10 and 20, expected 30. I'll create one more idea. Let us verify addition functionality by giving two negative integers, minus 10, minus 20, expected minus 30. Also, check addition by giving two real numbers, 10.25, 20.25, expected 30.50. Check addition by giving one integer, by giving one real number, 5, 5.25, expected 10.25, something like this. In order to verify each and every functionality, in order to verify each and every scenario, we create different ideas for testing it. If you documented all your plans or ideas to validate a feature, such document is called test case document. So one more example. Let's say we are checking Gmail module of the Google product. Say one scenario, check Gmail login. Gmail login functionality working or not need to be tested. Here scenario is check Gmail login. What is the feature to be tested? Gmail login. Now you create different plans, ideas to test the Gmail login. Maybe your first plan. Check Gmail login by giving valid username and valid password. Expected system should display inbox page. One more idea. Check Gmail login by giving a valid username, wrong password. Expected system should display appropriate error message. Check Gmail login by giving a wrong username, correct password. Wrong username, wrong password. One more idea. Leave username, password blank and click submit button. Something like this. Different ideas you made to test one scenario, if properly documented, they are called test cases. So precisely, what to be tested is called scenario. How to test the functionality if documented, they are called test cases. In manual testing, this is your day-to-day routine job. Say I am lead for this project. Totally 40 requirements to be tested in the project. These 4 people involved in testing this project say, I plan in the first schedule, we test these 4 requirements. In the first 1 week, we'll test these 4 requirements. I'll assign the work to my team members. You write scenarios and test cases for requirement 1. You write scenarios and test cases for requirement 2, requirement 3, requirement 4. They document what to test in home page. Say for example, requirement 1 is home page of the product. What to test in this home page. How to test various functionalities on the home page. Supposing she assigned for requirement 1 home page of the product, she need to document what are the functionalities to be tested in the home page of the product, how to test each and every functionality, scenarios and test cases. Supposing she given second requirement in the banking product, write scenarios and test cases for customer module maintenance. She will document what to test in customer module, new customer registration, change of address, cancellation of account, etc., etc., etc. Then she document how to test each and every feature. Once the scenarios and test case are documented by my team members, they'll submit back to me. I'll cross-check all scenarios and all test cases are correctly documented or not. Everything is covered or not. Then once I approve the test cases, yes, these 40 test cases are enough to test this requirement. I verify and approve. Now these people will start executing the test cases. While executing the test cases, planned ideas, any deviations or identified defects need to be properly documented and updated to the development team. Developer resolve the issue and give the modified version back to the QA team, testing team. We recheck, first of all, the reported bugs are correctly rectified or not. Then we need to find out what are the other areas may get affected because of these code changes. First retesting, then regression testing. This retesting and regression testing are the repetitively carried out testing activities in every modified version. Second version, third version, fourth version, something need to be retested, its connected functionalities need to be regression tested. Instead of doing this retesting or regression testing manually every time, say your management planned for automating the retesting and regression testing areas in a project. If you involved in this automation testing, developing automation scripts, executing automation script is other major responsibility of the QA tester. So this is the work mostly we carried out in real time. For doing this kind of job, companies are hiring you. Clear about this? Right. So let us start the second chapter in software testing foundation module. First module, software development life cycle, shortly SDLC. Software development life cycle. Software development life cycle. Development life cycle, shortly called SDLC. See, a development life cycle is a process. Generally, what do you mean by life cycle? What do you mean by life cycle? Flow from beginning to end. Human life cycle meaning? From birth to death. When you explain all stages involved in a human life, it's called human life cycle. Development life cycle means once a project is planned for implementation, development. What is the first job here? Understanding the customer requirement. Till delivery of the product to the client after testing. Total stages, all phases involved in building a product, if you explain, it's nothing but software development process, software development life cycle. You tell me what are the major activities involved in software development life cycle? We know about it. Requirement collection. Who is involved? Business analyst. Then planning. In our previous discussions, I skipped this planning. Because in our previous discussion, we focused only on why the software application will have the bugs. The mistakes made at planning will not introduce the bugs. Improper planning, mistakes made at planning, we may not able to deliver the product in promised time to the client. Work not properly planned, we may not able to deliver the project in time to the customer, cost may be increased, will not introduce any technical issues, correct? Understand the point here? Work not properly planned, this will not introduce any defect, it may result in postponing the delivery schedules, increase the project costing. Hence, in our previous discussion, we have not discussed about planning. After understanding the requirement, let's say 40 requirements to be implemented in the website, how many people required, how much time required, what is the estimated budget, all it comes under planning. Manager level people, project manager, QA manager, plan the work, allocate the work to the team members. You do this, you do this, you do this. Then design. Preparing technical architecture, project architecture, use case diagram, all comes under design. Then coding. Developers involved in the coding. After coding, testing. This is our job. After coding testing, here we are doing application level testing, requirement level testing BA, design level testing architect, code level testing, white box testing by developers. Once the code implemented, tested, code translated into application given to QA team. Here we check the developed software meeting the functional requirement, non-functional requirements of the client or not. It is called technically system testing. System testing is our job here. Once the testing is done, system meeting the requirements of the client, then we deliver the project to the client. Client accepted, now the project enters into maintenance, delivery and maintenance. What do you mean by maintenance? Maybe after 1 month or 2 months, customer wanted some new requirements. Again, new requirements to be updated. Updated system need to be retested. Second version need to be delivered to the client. All it comes under support of maintenance. So these are the major activities involved in building a product. For building for constructing a big building, you need different skill set of people. Architect is required, site engineers are required, plumbers required, electrician required, painter required, carpenter required. There are many skill set of people involved, correct? One person will not construct the whole building. Like domain experts required, design team required, UI developers, app developers, DB developers, testers, support team, these many people involved in software development lifecycle. But here our focus learning on, in this we are concentrating on only this part because this is our job in a company, testing. Clear about it? If you joined a BA course, 2 months we'll discuss about this topic. If you want to become a business analyst, what are the technical activities involved, the requirement, in deep we have to discuss. As our job is testing, this is what our focus is. Got the point? Right. Note on this. Software development life cycle. The following are the major activities. The following are the major phases. Phases or activities, whatever it may be. The following are the major phases, major activities involved in developing an application, involved in developing a software application. The following are the major activities involved in developing a software application. Right. So already we have the clarity about this. BA involved in collecting the requirement. Project manager, QA manager involved in the planning. Architect involved in making a design. developers, UI people, database people, app developers involved in coding. We test the product, then delivery and support. Right. Now, connect a topic. Software development lifecycle models, SDLC models. See, what do you mean by software development lifecycle models? Listen. When you talk about building constructions, developing a small independent house, the way of developing a small independent house is different. The way of constructing 40 floors of apartment is different. The way of constructing a half-kilometer bridge is different. The way of constructing a metro rail bridge is different, correct? The construction approaches will vary basically based on the size of the project. Like software application construction also, software application development also will vary from project to project. Developing a school management system, the way you develop a school management system is different. The way you develop a big banking application is different. The way you develop a hospital management software is different. The way you develop a e-commerce platform like Amazon is different. These are called development approaches or development models. There are different ways of developing software applications. Waterfall model, one way of making a project. V model, another way of building a project. Agile model is another way of building a project. Understand the point here? Basically, based on the size of the project, based on the requirements, your project manager will decide which is the best model suitable for making this project. Whether to go with waterfall model, whether to go with V model, whether to go with agile model. What is the better way of developing this project decided by the project manager, not by each and every person in the team. Because project manager is such a senior person who has experience and knowledge about all activities of development. He is a domain expert. He will be having the clarity on requirement, design, coding, testing, everything. Only such people will become project managers. A person who has a clarity, who has a knowledge, who has a experience, all development phases, only the right person to become a project manager. In addition to this, sales kind of skill, client convincing skill, people management skill, these are the few parameters will be considered by the high level management to make a person as a project manager. Technical skill, business management skill, people management skill, budgeting, there are many parameters will be considered to make one person as a project manager. You believe it? This person is the right person to decide which is a model suitable for our project implementation, whether to go with waterfall model, whether to go with V model, whether to go with agile model decided by the project manager. It is something like this. Just for your understanding, I am showing this image. Okay. What do you have here? Different ways of constructing what? Bridges. Maybe I do not have much clarity about this architectural engineering. The first model, maybe there is a name like truss model, cable stayed model. It is available in our Hyderabad also, correct? Ropeway model, arc model, tied arc model, beam model, suspension model. Finally, whatever the model, They are constructing finally a bridge only, correct? But there are different types, different ways of constructing the bridges. Same way, waterfall model is one way of developing a product. V model is another way of building a product. Agile model is another way of building a product. Hope you are understanding what I am trying to highlight here. There are different ways of, different types of constructing the bridges, different models available here. Cable model, suspension model, beam model, arc model, like waterfall model, V model, agile model. There are different models available for developing software applications, proven approaches, proven development approaches. A cricket game. What are the different models of a cricket game? You know about it. Test match is one model, one day another model, T20 other model, correct? Finally game only, same game. Like test match is one way of playing a game, one day is other way of playing the same game, T20 is also other way of, rapid way of playing same game. Finally same game. Different models available. Like software development also different approaches we can follow. These approaches are called waterfall model, V model and agile model. Talk about the cricket game, what is the most popular model? Mostly used one nowadays? T20. Why? Less time. See, today even cricket game also a business. Test matches are happening. Is anybody watching TVs? Will anybody go to the grounds? What about T20? What about T20? Full day you will sit in front of the computer. Right. See here, audience, customers will like a rapid game, very aggressive game, speedy results. Coming to test match, 4 days, 5 days, finally results may be tie or something like this. You don't get the interest in watching the game. A very rapid game, T20, very aggressive game, audience will show more interest on it. Many people will go to the grounds, many people will watch the TVs, many sponsors will come, finally there is a business generated. So as per the customer's taste, game approach is modified. The people are not watching the test matches, game modified. Also not spending complete day of time, again game modified to 20 overs. Like as per the customer's taste, software development approach also modified. Today most popular, mostly followed software development game is agile game, agile model. Got it? Waterfall model like a test match. V model like a one day. T20 is the most popular, like agile model is the most popular software development approach. For your understanding, I said like this. Finally, 3 models, test match or one day or T20, all are same game, but different ways of playing a game. Like waterfall model is one way of making a project. V model, another way of developing a project. Agile model is the most popular, mostly followed approach of developing a software application recently nowadays. Last 10 years, mostly companies are following agile model for building the project. But I don't say there is no waterfall model, there is no V model. Rarely the test matches also will happen. Waterfall model also we use, V model also we use. 90% companies are following agile model. Supposing today you are developing a very small online bus booking application, a very small web application for booking online bus tickets. Only bus tickets, that's it. No other ticketing type. Simple project. Agile model not required. Waterfall model is more than enough. You are developing a supermarket billing software. One login functionality, one functionality to record the day-to-day purchases, one functionality to record the day-to-day sales, some reports. Maximum 20, 30 features will be there, not more than that. Waterfall model is more than enough. Small application, waterfall model or V model are more than enough. When you are building a ERP project, e-commerce project, banking project, definitely we have to go for agile model. Majorly software development approaches are two types: sequential approaches, incremental approaches. Sequential models, incremental models. Sequential meaning? Sequential meaning? One after another. First, collect all the requirements of the client. Collect all the requirements of the product. First step is completed, no pending. What do you mean by no pending? What do you mean by no pending? All requirements are documented, no pending requirements. Everything is gathered from the customer. Finally, this is what customer is wanting. Nothing to be collected from the customer. Everything is finalized. Once all requirements are gathered and documented, step 1 is fully finished, fully completed, no pending. Now enter into the second step, design. 100% design finished, no pending. Then enter into the next step, coding. Everything is coded. Code converted into application given to the QA team. This application has all requirements asked by the client, no pending. At one shot, the project will be tested. Give it to the customer. Collect the payment, story over. School management system, supermarket billing software, such kind of small applications are developed like this. All requirements of the product, entire product will be implemented at one cycle. No multiple cycles, no multiple schedules. Because we are implementing a very small application. For developing small size of application, sequential models are recommended, either waterfall model or V model. The application we are developing is very small, requirements are very clear, waterfall model. The number of functionalities we are implementing are few, small application, requirements are little complex or confusing, V model. I repeat, for developing any small size of application, we go with sequential approaches, either waterfall model or V model. Waterfall model suggested for developing small size of project where the requirements are very clear, like a school management system. V model suggested for developing small size of project where there are complex or confusing requirement, traffic signals application. Number of functionalities are very few, but a minor mistake also not agreed, correct? A minor mistake also results in accident, damages. Scientific application, aeroplane navigation system, medical treatment software. When you see about the CT scan mission, on the top panel, there will be about 10 buttons will be there, approximately 9-10 buttons will be there, just to operate the mission. Maximum that 9-10 functionalities. Scan the human body, generating some reports. Start option, stop option, scan option, rescan option, something will be there. Maximum 10 features. But every feature is very critical. Minor mistake also not agreed. Agreed? Minor mistake also not accepted. If it is generated a wrong report, doctor will go for a wrong treatment. School management software is not working properly, school owner will keep the software side, record the transactions in manual ledgers. But if a CT scan machine generating a wrong report, not working as expected, doctor may not proceed with the further treatment. For developing such critical application, where the requirements are very sensitive or very risky or very complex, very, very carefully system gets implemented. At every stage of development, testing is carried out. V model. For developing any big size of application, nowadays companies are following only one model, that is called Agile model. Sir, Agile model not completely new one. Earlier there are some approaches like rapid application development model, prototyping model, spiral model. All these models are merged together. A new hybrid model is introduced called Agile model. Agile model is not completely new one. T20 game is not completely new game. Already there is an existing cricket game. The way of playing the game was modified, correct? T20 is a new game. Existing cricket game, as per the customer taste, modified as a speedy game. That's it. Existing game modified. Like Agile model is not completely new one. All models, previously there are some incremental models like Rapid Application Development Model, shortly called RAD model, prototyping model, spiral model. All these models are put together, integrated together. A new customized model, a hybrid model is introduced called Agile model. Considering advantages of RAD model, considering some advantages available in prototyping model, spiral model, removing all disadvantages, a new customized model introduced called Agile methodology, Agile model. A software development lifecycle models explain, SDLC models will explain the way of constructing a project. There are two ways of generally constructing the project: incremental approaches, sequential approaches. Waterfall model, V model comes under sequential methodology. Agile model comes under incremental methodology. Look at this one. Requirement collection is the first phase of development. Planning is the next phase of development. Designing, coding, testing, delivery and support. Okay. A software development lifecycle model, a SDLC model will explain the different ways of developing software application. Majorly sequential models and incremental models. Waterfall model, V model comes under sequential model. RAD model, prototyping model, spiral model, Agile model comes under incremental models. Listen, the sequential models are suitable for making small size of application. The incremental models are suitable for making big projects like banking, ERP, etc. If it is a school management system, supermarket billing software, a small hospital management software, we go with either waterfall model or V model. When to go for waterfall model, when to go for V model, we'll discuss. These two models are preferred to for making small applications only. When the project is a big size of project like a ERP project, banking project, e-commerce project, so there are different approaches are available. But last 12 years, these are fully outdated models, old models. Nobody is using this. These three are not in use. For developing any big size of application, companies are blindly following only one model called Agile model. This Agile model is not completely new one. It's a mixture of RAD model, prototyping model and spiral model. All models are put together. A new hybrid model is introduced called Agile. Note on this diagram. First take the topic in this way, SDLC models. Software Development Lifecycle Model, shortly SDLC models. Note on this diagram, then I'll give the notes. Here we'll talk about waterfall model, V model and Agile model. Done? Finish all 19?
Yes, sir.
Done.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So first we talk about the sequential models, waterfall model and V model. Take topic. Take the subheading sequential models. So sequential models are suggested for making small projects. Small projects meaning number of requirements are very few. 10, 20 functionalities to be developed. Maximum 20, 30 features to be implemented. So better to go with either waterfall model or V model. When the requirements are very clear, waterfall model. Size of the project is small, requirements are very clear, waterfall model. The size of the project is small, requirements are little confusing or sensitive, V model. Take some short notes about the sequential model. Sequential models are recommended. The sequential models are recommended for developing small size of projects. For developing small size of projects. For developing small size of applications. Continuation. Waterfall model and V model are the best examples. Waterfall model and V model are the best examples for sequential models. First, let us conclude this waterfall model, V model, then we go with the incremental models. See, try to understand this waterfall model. Waterfall model is suggested for making small size of projects where the requirements are very clear. We are building a school management software. Anybody can easily understand what a school need in their website. You don't find much confusion in making a school management website, correct? What a school requires for their day-to-day operation, anybody can easily understand. No complexity in understanding the requirement. When you talk about a big banking business, it's very difficult to understand all the banking transactions and all banking conditions. For developing small size of applications, where the requirements are very clear, like a school management system, like a supermarket billing software, a small online bus booking application, waterfall model suggested. In this waterfall model, any software development approach, first activity collecting the business requirements from the client. The requirements are very clear. We are developing a small project, the two requirements are very clear. Requirements are very clear. As the requirements are very clear, no need to check the requirements again, no verification here. Based on the requirement, next level of document SRS will be prepared, system requirements will be prepared. We had a small discussion about this. High level requirements given by the client is called business requirement. What are the functionalities and non-functionalities to be implemented to meet the business requirement? If documented, it is called SRS, software system requirement. Design, high level design, then detailed design. Coding. No testing during the development. Why? No testing at the time of development. Why? We are building a small project, that too requirements are very clear. See, generally, what is the importance of doing testing from the beginning? Why generally we are doing testing from the beginning, like verification? To find out the mistakes at early stages. First of all, here we are building a small application. The two requirements are very clear. Chances of making mistake during development would be less. Why to do testing from the beginning? Waste of time. First focus on the development. After development, focus on the testing. That is the beginning days approach. In the beginning days, we used to follow waterfall model where we used to do testing after the development. After coding, testing. We are doing testing after the development in waterfall model because waterfall model will be opted for making small size of projects where the requirements are very clear. Then deliver the project to the client. Enough. For developing small size of application, one moment. For developing small size of projects, where the requirements are very clear, waterfall model will be opted. As the requirements are very clear, chances of making mistake during development would be less. Hence, testing is carried out after the development. That is only online team. Fill the remaining. Only
Manually.
Please repeat the question.
yes, only.
Manually.
No, not manually. Only validation, no verification in waterfall model project. The waterfall model project, we opt for making small size of application where the requirements are very clear. As the requirements are very clear, chances of making mistake during development would be less. Hence, first we focus on the development. After development, only we carry out testing. Only validation, no verification in waterfall model project. And this is the reason mostly people will say in olden days, testing will carried out after the coding. Yes, testing carried out after the coding in this kind of scenario. In waterfall model scenario. Right from the V model only verification was introduced. Hope you understood this. Take this diagram. Sir, why the name waterfall model? Why this approach named as waterfall model? Previously, we have seen that bridges diagrams, B model, arc model, suspension model. By seeing the diagram, anybody can understand. A meaningful name is given. Like, why this named as waterfall model? Yes? Once the requirements are finished, then only we enter into the downstream system requirement, SRS. Once the SRS document is ready, everything is finalized, no pending, then only we enter into the next phase. Once you come here, will you go back? Like a water always falls down, will never go back. Like a waterfall, the activities will go, hence this mechanism named as waterfall model. There is no other reason for this. The development activities looks like a waterfall flow, hence this model named as waterfall model. Waterfall model we take only for developing small size of projects where the requirements are very clear. As the requirements are very clear, chances of making mistakes during development would be less, hence testing is carried out after the development. Only validation, no verification in waterfall model projects. Take this diagram, I will give the precise notes about it. Taken? Take some short notes about this waterfall model. waterfall model will be chosen for developing small size of projects where the requirements are very clear. Waterfall model will be taken for the projects, small size of projects where the requirements are very clear. Like a school management system, hospital management system, etc. Simple application. Employees leaves management system, a supermarket billing software, a small online bus booking application. For developing small size of applications where the requirements are very clear, waterfall model can be opted. Continuation. Next paragraph. As requirements are very clear, chances of making mistakes during development would be less. Hence, testing is carried out after the development. That is only validation. Right. It's clear, right? So take the next one, V model. Before I proceed further, V model. You are online team. If you have any questions on waterfall model, I clarify, then I go with the V model. Clear? For developing small size of application where the requirements are clear, waterfall model will be opted. As the requirements are very clear, the two size of the application we are implementing is very small. Doing testing from the beginning also waste of time and money. Hence, your management will say, do testing after the development. Only validation, no verification in waterfall model. Clear, right? Online team, do confirm so that I'll go with the next one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, clear.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yes,
Take
sir.
the next one, V model. V model. While explaining verification and validation, I discussed about this. Look at this one. V model will be selected for developing small size of projects where the requirements are little confusing. Medical treatment software, aeroplane navigation system, traffic signals application. So actually number of requirements are very few in traffic signals application, showing the directions. But a minor mistake also not agreed, correct? Two sides it is giving a green signal, what happened? Accidents. A pilot will drive the plane based on the signal generated. If it is produced a wrong signal, what happened? He will go in a wrong direction. Satellite mechanism. A software made to launch a satellite, countdown software, something like this, a minor mistake results in crash of the satellite. Millions of dollars are spent. Years of effort will become zero because of a minor mistake of the software. Such kind of software application, number of requirement, number of functionalities are very few, but every functionality is very, very important. A minor mistake also not agreed. Such a critical application, such a sensitive application, management will choose, we go with V model. First, requirements are captured from the customers. After documenting the requirement, as we are developing a very sensitive application, 100% accuracy is expected. 0.01% defects also not agreed. In that scenario, V model will be opted. After documenting the customer requirement, end user requirement, these requirements need to be verified. Then prepare the SRS, have a check. High level design, check. Low level design, check low level design made as per the high level design or not. Code, verify. All it comes under verification. Do you have this verification activity in the previous model, waterfall model? No. Then build the code, check the developed code working as expected or not, unit testing. Integrate, integration testing. Build the system, system level testing. Deliver the product to the client, client also will have a final check. Together, at every stage of development, right from the requirement, at every stage of development, testing is carried out to minimize the mistakes as many as possible at early stages. This development approach is called V model. I use the same slide for explaining verification and validation because verification started from the V model. Why the name V model? It looks like a V shape. Actually, V-shaped model shortly called V model. So here, after the coding, instead of taking the diagram in this direction, what is wrong when I take the diagram in this direction? You call as arrow model. There's a reason for this direction. The reason is acceptance testing is carried out based on the customer requirement. System testing carried out based on the SRS. Because SRS contains functional requirements and non-functional requirement. Integration testing input is high-level design. Unit testing input is low-level design. At the left side is the input to carry out right side activity. The diagram took in this direction simultaneously. Almost it looks like a V shape. People named as V-shaped model, shortly called V model. Understood this? V model will be opted for developing small size of application where the business requirements are very sensitive or very complex. 100% quality is expected. No bugs are accepted because a minor mistake also may result in a big damage in traffic signals application. A minor mistake also results in a big damage in medical treatment software. Such kind of a critical application, project manager will say, we go with the V model, very carefully, every development activity, verify then go, verify then go, verify then go. After making one activity, do not go for second step. Check whether the work accomplished correctly or not. Yes, then only go for the next step. Such kind of development approach is called V model. As the development activity's final diagram look like a V shape, hence the people named as V model. Take this diagram quickly. Already you taken? Then Control C and Control V. Not possible? Then take it. Previously I given the notes about verification and validation. Here I'll give the notes about V model. Okay? Maybe matter of 2 minutes. You take it, you'll get more clarity. Online team, you take this diagram. Here I'll explain about V model, not verification validation. You take it, I'll be back in just 2 minutes. You take it, okay? Thank you. So what kind of projects remodel will be opted? Small size of application, but requirements are very complex or sensitive, then we go with the V model. Take it. V model will be selected. V model will be selected for developing small size of projects. For developing small size of projects where the requirements are confusing or where the requirements are complex. Where the requirements are complex. Where the requirements are complex. Confusion. As the requirements are complex, chances of making mistakes during development would be high. Chances of making mistakes during development would be high. So, to find out the mistakes at early stages, testing is carried out right from the requirements. Testing is carried out right from the requirements. That is, testing is carried out right from the requirements. That is, both verification and validation. Both verification and validation. Clear about this? Okay. So finally, for developing small size of projects where the requirements are very clear, waterfall model will be opted. Where testing carried out after the development. For developing small size of applications where the requirements are little complex or confusing, chances of making mistakes during development would be high because requirements are confusing. Hence, right from the beginning, at every stage of development, testing is carried out, both verification and validation. You clear about this, right? Verification activity introduced from the V model. Once verification was introduced, people have observed advantages of doing verification to find out the mistakes at early stages. It is continued in all remaining models. Only in the waterfall model, testing performed after the development, only validation. Rest of all software development approaches, both verification and validation. Clear about it? Take something, incremental models. Incremental models. What is the meaning of incremental? Listen.
Increasing something.
It will take big projects.
We are developing, we have to develop a very big project. A big project can be divided into multiple modules. A big project can be divided into multiple modules. Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, and so on. Let's say, totally 6 months of time is estimated for making this project, complete project. The management may plan in this way. Let us split into 3 phases. Let us split the work into 3 phases. Phase 1, first 2 months, second phase, next 2 months, and the last phase. In the first phase, we plan to develop only module 1. The first version will have only module 1 features. We add the second module into the second phase, module 2. The second version will be created. We add more requirements in the last phase, module 3, the next version. Version 1 will have only module 1. Version 2 contain module 1 and module 2. The next version contain module 1 and module 3. Module 1, module 2 and module 3. Like at every phase, in multiple phases, system is getting implemented. Incremental approach, incremental models. For developing big size of projects, only incremental models will be opted. There are different incremental models available. Rapid Application Development Model, RAD model. Prototype based development model called prototyping model.
Prototyping model.
Spiral model. Agile methodology.
Agile methodology.
Agile model. Online team, there is some more noise coming. These models are not in use. People are not using it. All are outdated. There are few advantages in RAD model. Very quickly project gets implemented. See, what is this RAD model basic structure? Say we are developing a big project. The big project divided into multiple modules first. Module 1, Module 2 and Module 3. I'm giving just brief idea about the RAD model, not in deep. Each module will be considered as a separate project. A big project divided into multiple modules. Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. A dedicated team deployed for implementing Module 1. Another team deployed for implementing Module 2. Another team deployed for implementing Module 3. These people start collecting the requirements about the Module 1. These people will start collecting the requirements of Module 2. This team will start working on Module 3 requirement. Similarly, planning, design, coding, testing, all activities are carried out for their individual modules. One team implementing Module 1, other team developing Module 2, another team developing Module 3. Once all modules are implemented and tested, integration testing, at one shot the project will be given to the client. A big project splitted into multiple modules, every module considered as a separate project, dedicated teams deployed for implementing the individual modules. In this way, all 3 modules are getting constructed simultaneously. Very quickly, system gets implemented, hence it is called Rapid Application Development Model. Rapid meaning so fast. Advantage of this model, very quickly software gets implemented. Disadvantage of this model, it demands more man resources, increase your project budgeting, increase your project costing. Like the prototyping model. Supposing we are implementing a big project, but the requirements are not clear. As the requirements are not clear, without having the clarity on the requirement, if you develop a project, there is a chance of project failures. In this scenario, first requirements are documented. Requirements are not much clear. Make a dummy called prototype. What is the meaning of prototype? A simulation, a dummy. It can be a PowerPoint presentation. First, make a dummy based on the requirements. Make a dummy simulation. Go back to the client. Explain the client, so this is what we are trying to build for your business. demonstrate the prototype to the customer, not original. Original was not made. A dummy made, sample made, demonstrate to the client. Get the approval from the client. Customer said, yes, I wanted my application like this. Based on the prototype, remaining development activities will go. Prototype based development model. If the requirements are clear, building the prototype also unnecessary time and unnecessary cost. But the advantage of this model, customer will have the clarity what I am getting. And team have the clarity, okay, this is what customer is wanting, let us build it. For developing big size of application, where the requirements are very complex, to make the customer clear, this is what we are building for you, first make a prototype, demonstrate the prototype to the customer, get it approved, based on the prototype, rest of the software development activities are carried out. Such kind of development approach is called prototype-based development model. Advantage, no chances of project failure because customer already approved the simulation. Disadvantage, making a prototype also kills our time and budget. Spiral model. A big project divided into modules first. Each module further divided into small pieces, requirements. Requirement by requirement system gets implemented. First implement the requirement 1, then add requirement 2, not even module by module, requirement by requirement, system gets implemented. It looks like a spiral net, people call it a spiral model. What is this binding generally called? Very quick cycles, not lengthy schedules. Requirement by requirement system gets implemented in very quick cycles, very quick schedules. Flow of activities look like a spiral net, hence people call it as a spiral model. For the project where the requirements are very frequently changing, better to plan implementing the system requirement by requirement, not many requirements together. Now, rapid application model advantage is very speedy development. Prototyping model advantage is first we are demonstrating to the customer what we are building for you, then we are building. Spiral model, rather than implementing multiple requirements at one schedule, no 2 months of schedule, 2 days of schedule, 1 week of schedule, maximum 10 days of schedule, requirement by requirement system gets implemented. Nowadays application, frequently changing business requirements. Today customer will say something, I wanted like this. Tomorrow customer may change it because from competitive business strategies will very frequently change. Later what the people did, these 3 models are mixed together. A new hybrid mechanism introduced called Agile model. The Agile model is not completely new one. It is derived from the existing incremental models. Rapid application development model, the prototyping model, spiral model, all put together, a new customized model is introduced called Agile model. Make a small note about it. Incremental models. Incremental models are recommended for developing big size of projects. In incremental models, a big project divided into modules, divided into smaller modules, then module by module system gets implemented, not all at one shot. Then module by module system will be implemented. A big project divided into smaller modules, module by module software gets implemented. Continuation. RAD model, second one. Prototyping model, RAD model, prototyping model, spiral model, and agile model are the examples for incremental models, are the examples, different types of incremental models. Here, the agile model is the most popular incremental model. Agile model is most popular, mostly used incremental model. Agile model is the most popular, mostly used incremental model. Listen, friends, at this moment, I'll brief about the Agile model. We have a separate module, Agile model and Agile testing. As of now, we do not know even how to write scenarios and how to write test cases. After learning the second module, STLC, we have a separate module called Agile and Scrum. See, at this point of time, I'm just giving a outline about what is Agile model. In our course training strategy, our third module in manual testing is again Agile. What is this? Can we consider it as a performance issue? Can we consider it as a performance issue or not? Yes, it is a performance issue. Okay. We are still at software testing concept learning. After learning the manual testing, second module, practical approach to manual testing, again we have a separate module here called Agile model. We are discussing this software development lifecycle. Here I am briefing you about the Agile model. After manual testing, we have a separate module called Agile. Here I'll discuss about all this in deep. Because today you cannot understand what is a concept of Epic, what is a concept of user stories and test case writing, etc. Because we do not know about how to write a test case also now. So, after learning the manual testing, I'll introduce you Agile model in detail because Jira is a Agile project management tool. After learning the Agile in detail, then we go with the Jira software, which is completely Agile model tool. Right. Take it, Agile model. At this moment, just I am giving a brief, Agile model. In Agile model, a big project, in Agile model, a big project divided into modules, like this. A big project divided into modules, module 1, module 2, module 3, then continuation. Then each module further divided into smaller components Each module further divided into smaller components called sprints. Sprint meaning a small piece of a module can be called as a sprint, not the whole module. One module can be further split into multiple smaller pieces called sprints. Then, after dividing the sprint, a module will be divided into sprint. Then, sprint by sprint, the software gets implemented. The sprint by sprint, software gets implemented. So look at this one. A big project divided into modules first. A module further divided into smaller components called sprints. Not even module by module, sprint by sprint software gets implemented. 2-3 major business requirements are considered to implement at one schedule, one sprint. A sprint meaning a short schedule made for developing a product can be called as a sprint. Let's say totally 40 requirements to be implemented in a product. In waterfall model, we plan a lengthy schedule, 3 months of schedule. All 40 requirements will be implemented at one schedule. Whereas in agile model, totally 40 to be implemented, agree. This will be split into multiple phases, not 3 months of schedule, 1 week of schedule, maximum 10 days of schedule. Test match schedule is about 5 days, T20 schedule about 4 hours. Rather than making a lengthy schedule, make short schedules, 1 week of time, 10 days of time, not more than that. Consider 2-3 major business requirements to implement at one short schedule. Rather than asking developers, rather than asking testers, you develop 40 requirements, you test 40 requirements, work will be split like this. This week, you develop the home page, login page, user registration page. You write scenarios and test cases for testing user registration, login, and home page. We test, finish off this. Once the 2 requirements is fully finished, I demonstrate to my client, so this week, these are the 2 features we implemented for your business. If you say okay, then we go further. Once the customer confirm, next week we plan other 2-3 major business requirements. Next week you plan other 2-3 major business requirements. Like small schedules are made. All 40 requirements will be implemented in 10-20 schedules. What is the advantage of this approach? If I am giving a lengthy schedule for a person, slowly work will go, correct? If there is a short schedule, very aggressively work will go. If I ask my developer, you have to develop this 40 functionalities 3 months of time. First 1 or 2 months, this developer will not work aggressively. Tight schedules only the developer will work aggressively. If I ask my team member, you write test cases for the 40 requirement test cases. Instead, next 2 days, you develop the home page. You develop user registration page. You develop the login page. Next 2 days, you write scenarios and test cases for home page. You write scenarios and test cases for user registration. You write scenarios and test cases for login. 3 days of time. After 3 days, there is a review meeting. You have to demonstrate the output to the Scrum Master, project manager. I'll have a review. You need to demonstrate the test cases to the project manager. I'll have a review. If I have any comments about these 2 requirements, I'll give my updates. Again, modification. Once I am happy with the output, I'll show to my client. So this week, these 4 functionalities we have implemented for you. It's okay, or if you have any comments on this. Customer given some comments. Based on the customer given comments, if required, again modification, again testing. Again, project manager will have a final output review. Again, demonstrate to the client. Client said, okay, keep it aside, plan next 2-3 requirements. Rather than asking developer 30 days, you develop this, 3 days you develop this. Rather than giving 10 requirements to developer and 30 days of time, give only 1 or 2 requirements to developer, give 2 days of time. No chance of skipping even 1 hour, correct? That too, Rather than understanding 40 requirement, you are focusing on understanding only 2 requirement where the understanding levels would be high. Instead of planning all works together, you plan small works, do it, go for next 2 requirement. Do it, next go for 2 requirement. In this way, you will get a very productive output. It's a practical proven scenario that 30% of the budget can be saved if you go with agile model when you compare with waterfall model. If I am developing 40 requirements in waterfall model of 3 months of schedule, the estimated cost is $100. When the same project will be opted for agile model, same project can be finished within $70. Budget saves, time saves, very productive output. Every 2-3 requirements you are showing to the client, getting the approval, no chance of project failure, and as frequent communication with the client will give you the better output. There are like many advantages of the agile model. At this moment, just I given a brief idea. We have a separate module, agile model. Further we'll discuss in detail. Because if I continue further discussion now, this is how we have to write test case in agile model. This is how we have to write scenarios in agile model. You do not know as of now what is a scenario, what is a test case in detail, except a small definition. Some points will bounce. So further I will discuss about agile model and agile project management tool Jira. Clear about this? So as of now, we are keeping one topic is pending, that is agile model in detail discussion. The basic idea I have given: a big project divided into modules, a module further divided into smaller components called sprints. Sprint by sprint, software gets implemented. Sprint planning, epics, user stories. There are many terminologies and many work items to be discussed in agile methodology. Further we will discuss after manual testing, before jumping into the Jira tool learning. Clear about this? So today majorly we have focused on 2 things: waterfall model and V model. Clear about this? Right, I stop here today. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'll introduce you verification and validation in detail. What is a review? What is a walkthrough? What are the different types of reviews carried out in organizations? That we'll discuss. Also, I'll give the basic idea about white box testing, that is unit testing and integration testing tomorrow. Here our focus learning on system testing, because our job is doing system testing. Clear about this? Thank you. We continue tomorrow. Thank you, online team. We'll continue tomorrow. So you are accessing the learning management system. You got the access. You are able to log in and understand the way of using it. Just you have to log in. Manual testing book available. Day-to-day videos are getting uploaded now. Correct? As of now. Okay. When we enter into the Selenium, some more materials also will be given. And when we enter into second module, manual project testing, the work what I am going to assign you, scenario writing, test case writing, every work will be assigned there. Okay? Right. Thank you. Thank you, online team. We continue tomorrow. I'll stop here today. Thank you.